911 emergency.
I have a 3-year-old.
1:30 a.m.
You better be there by yourself with your door inside.
About 1/3 of all American women have been subjected to either physical or sexual abuse by a partner at some point in their lives. Domestic violence impacts everybody, regardless of race, regardless of sex, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of education, regardless of income, regardless of culture. It undermines job security, it contributes to job jeopardy, and often leads to workplace violence.
You ever seen Dad hit Mom before?
Do you know if he carries any weapons or not?
My relationship with my ex-husband was rocky from the start. He was always verbally abusive, physically abusive, emotionally, mentally, and it made me feel like I had no control of my life.
Domestic violence is a pattern of controlling behavior which includes physical violence, sexual assault, emotional abuse. It can include stalking, isolating the victim from friends and families and coworkers. So it's a whole system of power over the victim.
What sister that he knocked out?
My little sister.
To have children in that relationship, it was pretty hard because he was abusive throughout the pregnancies, and I was afraid that he would abuse the children. It wasn't safe there.
They may not have a place to live. They might not have friends and family that will help them. They may feel completely beaten down by the batterer and his messages that they're worth nothing. So they get trapped in these violent relationships.
You're afraid to speak and tell your story because of the reaction that you're going to get. They either they don't believe you or feel that you chose that life, that it's your fault.
If you see someone in your workplace that you think is being abused but you say nothing, you send a message to that person that what's happening to them is okay.
First, don't worry because you're not alone here. Lots of women are going through the same thing.
First, you have to acknowledge that the abuse exists and show that you care and that you are willing to listen.
They give you really good information about the situation you're going through.
After the domestic violence victim has been reassured that there is support, there will probably be a need for time off to go to a shelter, to go to court, and take care of other business.
And I need some guidance from you on that, Delia.
There is a great deal that unions can do, including finding out what agencies are available in a community, what services are available for people who are in an abusive situation.
I'm looking for some support for a member who I believe is in an abusive relationship.
A union and company can negotiate provisions that protect a person in an abusive situation in the workplace.
Why don't you just come and see me before you... We won't have to go through all this dumb shit.
It starts off with mental and emotional abuse, the name calling, the consistency of no one wants you and no one's gonna love you like I do, and just hurtful words.
I guess I'll just have to keep calling your work and I guess you'll pay the bill, I guess.
Him calling my job scared me a lot. I mean, you're calling me, you're becoming argumentative, and I'm at work. And I'm asking you to please stop, because I was starting to become afraid, like it was an obsession or something.
It affects not only the person, individual domestic violence situation, the abuser will very often come to the workplace, and fellow employees are affected as well. So it is a major issue.
AFSCME District 37 has negotiated a plan the Municipal Employees Legal Services Plan, which provides legal services and counseling for the victims of domestic abuse. There is trained staff available to provide these services, and it's carried out through the negotiated contract.
Marion came in for a divorce, and the lawyer referred her case because she was a victim of domestic violence. So I met with Marion to discuss what her problem was.
I think I've been more of afraid, more or less. I don't know why. I just feel that all the things he's done to me, sometimes I feel a little bit embarrassed.
No need to feel embarrassed here. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you through that process, and we understand that she was having a lot of problems at work because of her anxiety. She was having panic attacks, depressed.
I needed to see you today. I talked to her about the threats that I was getting from him, the constant harassment, the standing in front of my building. I've been very afraid. You know, I was scared that I was going to lose my job. And then I was late, temperamental, argumentative with supervisor, basically taking it out on people that just didn't make my day. I wasn't feeling, you know, that I was myself. And it was like I couldn't reach out. You know, it's uncomfortable, but
we had to take steps helping her be safe. And one of the things that she needed to do was to get a job transfer. So I got her in touch with her union representative.
I was very happy because my boss wasn't going to give it to me. So union, you know, really pursued it and sent these letters out again and insisted for me and fought for me, and eventually I got the transfer. I'm a survivor. I'm living proof. I know. You can make it.
Unions can come together, share their resources and their talent in addressing the issue of domestic violence. Or they work with joint labor management committees in doing the same thing.
I can't emphasize enough the importance of having a joint management partnership when you're dealing with domestic violence. We have a union management partnership on work-family issues with the Verizon Corporation.
For me, going to work was very important. It helped me become independent and building my self-confidence, you know, knowing that I would have a career.
Of all of the issues that I see, domestic violence survivors tend to value their jobs because they know that having a paycheck and having a place to go and the self-esteem and the culture really becomes a lifeline for them.
Oh my stepdaddy's got the baby now!
He started to beat one of my children, and I came to her defense, and he was beating me.
The police are on their way, okay?
At that time, I felt that we weren't going to make it, that he was going to kill us all.
We've had to go through the feelings, the horrible, horrible experience of hearing about someone's life being taken away from them. And we just didn't want to let it happen again.
I connected with my business agent, Willie Banks, and she discussed my options were into relocating into another area. I didn't want to lose my job because that's the main thing that's helping me support the children.
In domestic violence cases, we're able to move employees large distances far enough for her to start a new life kind of afresh and be out of harm's way and out of danger.
By working with management, by working with or utilizing labor resources, by working with community-based domestic violence programs, the union was able to move by safety and to help her keep her job.
Unions need to work in partnership and raise the awareness from management, and management needs to go to bat for all of their employees, both management and unions, say this is a human problem, it's not a management versus union problem.
It's a wrap!
I'm happy where I'm at right now. I'm happier. It's so safe that I could even leave my door open. Work is great. I could finally breathe.
Keep your hand on it. That way we're doing it together.
I don't have to live in fear anymore.
Hold the soda. Okay. Okay.
If people stay in abusive relationships, it's because they don't have the resources and support to leave them. Nobody wants to be abused. Nobody wants to be terrorized. Nobody wants to be a victim of domestic violence.
How are things for you now?
Great. It's important to keep your job because you need to keep yourself motivated. You have to stay focused. And to me, it really let me know that he wasn't winning.
It's our pleasure to help you. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
I don't have any family, and I felt that they was my family. Well, they are my family.
There is a great deal that unions can do by working with the Coalition of Labor Union Women and community-based organizations addressing this problem. There are 3 steps available to unions, even with limited resources. The first is to put posters up in the workplace, in the union hall, so that members can learn about the issue. The second thing is to distribute, place around hot cards in private places like restrooms. And the third is to invite an advocate in from a local shelter who can provide support.
So is there someone from your organization can come down here and talk to us about domestic violence?
We'd be happy to do to your union, and we'd love to work with you on that.
It's not hard because your role really isn't to be an expert on domestic violence.
You can call that number anytime, day or night.
Your role is to refer them to somebody who is.
We have done so many things, and so many things. This is the one thing that we've got to do something about now, because unless we do, there'll be more and more and more women who are killed, more women who are maimed. So please, sisters, find some way to turn this around. Thank you.
Have an obligation to fight for the workers that they represent who are in abusive situations, as we have fought over the past 100 or so years for the rights of workers, for civil rights and human rights. This is an issue that must be addressed with the same dedication and commitment.
They shouldn't have to live in fear of their life, of their children's lives. We need this message out there so people will know that there is help.